Right, I do just want to start off by saying that I have came up with a bit of a plan for today's video that if you're a frequent viewer of the Markie channel, you're probably not going to really like. Because realistically, if you do watch my videos, there's probably two channels here on YouTube that when you see them, give you a bit of a shiver down your spine. One of them being 8 Passengers.
I think we need to have sex again.
And the other one being the Ace Family.
Period blood, that's disgusting!
So with that being said, my plan for today's video is to talk about both of them. I'm so sorry. Now, when I'm planning these videos, I take a look through my Instagram DMs to see if there's any topics people want to see, and if there's something that stands out more than the rest, I usually cover it because clearly people want to see it. And the two topics that kept popping up was something to do with the Ace Family and 8 Passengers. So I thought, you know what, instead of just longing it out and making it a very torturous occasion for the next few days, let's just put it into one video and hopefully the pain will be rather quick. But let's start with 8 Passengers. Now, I think most people know by now that Ruby's daughter, Sherry, that I feel like I've been saying her name wrong for so long, so I want to apologise, but she has publicly stated multiple times that she wants to distance herself away from her mother because she's seeing the stuff that she was posting on her Mum's a Truth Facebook page with the advice that she gives to mothers, and she didn't agree with it, and she thought it was disgusting, so she wanted nothing to do with it. But the whole time this drama was happening, Ruby still followed Sherry on Instagram. I mean, it's her daughter, for goodness sake. And to show how recent Ruby still actually followed Sherry on Instagram, we've got this post on Reddit here talking about who the Mum's a Truth Insta, which is actually Ruby's personal Instagram, actually follows on Instagram. And it said it's a bunch of old white men, and then connections, and then also Sherry. And this was 4 days ago, and clearly by the way that I'm explaining this topic, you can probably guess, she no longer follows Sherry on Instagram. And you'll never guess what Sherry posted within the last few days that might have caused this. This picture right here that we covered in my last video, and it's a little sticker or something that says, everyone is welcome here, and it has the colours of the LGBTQ community, and I even made a joke in my last video that if Ruby saw this, she would be fuming. You can tell, right? Ruby probably saw this and steam was leaving her ears. Someone needs to check the windows on Ruby's house, okay? Because it wouldn't surprise me if she punched one of them through. Now, obviously, I don't know the exact reason why they unfollowed Sherry. It might not be anything to do with this, but it's just a bit coincidental that it happened literally as this post was made. And remember, Ruby definitely isn't scared to express her opinions on the LGBTQ community because she has a Facebook page where she gives advice to mothers and on numerous occasions has told mothers that if their son is gay or transgender, that they need to change the children and they can't be behaving like that. So she very publicly hates that whole idea. So I don't think it's exactly a hot take that she might have saw this post from Sherry and thought, fuck that, you're getting unfollowed. Obviously, there is a possibility that Sherry actually just blocked her mother on Instagram and that's why it shows that her mum's not following her anymore. But, I mean, who knows, okay? I feel like it's just a bit of a coincidence. And if that is the case, it's so sad, because we've heard Ruby say this to parents on her Facebook page so many times that they shouldn't allow their kids to be gays if they can even, like, stop that happening. But to actually maybe see that that's the reason why she's now going against her own daughter, fucking mental. And that's just with Sherry showing her support for the community, so fucking hell. I mean, hopefully that isn't the reason, but I really wouldn't put it past them. We also did get a little bit of an update on the whole, like, family situation to see if Ruby has started speaking to any of her siblings or anything yet, and clearly she hasn't. I don't think that's exactly a surprise, but her sister did actually post a video saying happy birthday from afar, because it was Ruby's birthday a few days ago, and it's just Bonnie mentioning that it was her birthday, but they're still not speaking.
I tried asking myself, like, what was the matter, and I, like, couldn't pinpoint it. And then I went to the grocery store, and I picked up the guitar for Olivia as a rental. And once I saw the date, I was like, oh. So you guys are going to get, like, royalty-free music.
So yeah, then it goes into a bit of like a montage with like sad music in the background. But if we look at the comments in these videos, like people clearly feel sorry for Bonnie and all the siblings really, because Ruby has genuinely took this Facebook page over her own family for some reason, as if that's the priority here. And I can only imagine how much this family absolutely despises Jodi Hildebrandt, because as much as Ruby wasn't the nicest person in the world by any means over the last few years, she has clearly got even worse, to the point where she's spreading some of the most hateful messages you can possibly spread, and she doesn't care about the fact that she's no longer speaking to any of her family. She just wants to carry on spreading these messages, and you can't help but think Jodi Hildebrandt has a massive part to play in that. But either way, let's now move on to maybe the second worst family channel on YouTube, the Ace family. Because believe it or not, and I realise this might be a bit shocking, the Ace family have lied. I know, we really do break some monumental news here on the Markie channel, but I'll show you what I mean. So you might remember a video 10 months ago called The End of the Ace Family on YouTube, where Catherine and Austin explain that 2022 is going to be the last year that they upload to YouTube, and at that exact same moment, you could hear millions of people around the world celebrating.
This is the last year that the Ace family will be on YouTube.
But we're a few weeks into 2023 right now, and as you can see, they seem to be more active than ever at this point. And Catherine even addressed this in one of her recent videos, saying that, actually, you know what, now they've thought about it, they're not gonna quit.
We told you guys we wanted to travel a lot, and one of the reasons why we were considering and saying that we weren't gonna do YouTube this year, but we like the idea of sharing like our trips like on our social media and then doing this, so we'll see how this goes.
Sorry, I didn't realize the video would just end so quickly. That's genuinely how the video just ends. No goodbye, no nothing, it just cuts off. Fucking hell, it's almost like his boxing career, you know? Ending abruptly. But yeah, as you just heard, they're no longer quitting YouTube, which I feel like is for the best for them specifically, because they are still in a lot of lawsuits, and if they quit doing their main source of income, then I'm not exactly sure how they would pay for any of that. But if I'm being honest, I don't think they ever wanted to end the channel. I genuinely think they just did this to promote the Ace Fest. As we can see here, as I'm scrubbing through the video, this is the exact one where they promoted the Ace Fest. They just used the fact that they were saying they were quitting YouTube to get people to click, so then they would then buy tickets for the Ace Fest, which, let's be honest, didn't really work. I mean, if they didn't say this would be the last time they'd be on YouTube, then imagine how many people would have went to the Ace Fest. I'd say like 6, maybe 7. But yeah, like I just mentioned, the Ace family is still in a bunch of lawsuits, and the majority of these lawsuits are because they run their businesses really sketchy. Mainly because they lie in their contracts 24/7 and don't actually fulfill what they state to certain investors and so on. We've seen it so many times with all the boxing events and whatnot. But this is where it actually gets a little interesting, because it turns out this isn't really new in the Mcbroom family. It's actually been happening as early as like 2010. Because I saw this video by Mad Katzer and it says Ace family Alan Mcbroom's shady past and criminal record. And he goes into Alan Mcbroom's criminal record. You might be thinking, what's that got to do with Austin? Well, Alan Mcbroom is actually Austin McBroom's like manager or advisor or whatever he wants to be called. I mean, as you can see by this old video where Austin actually goes to see the stadium that he's going to be fighting a Nissan Gibbon, you can see that his dad is talking about like who's going to be seated where and how many tickets they're going to sell and whatnot. I mean, just have a look.
And you've got seating all the way around it. The great thing is the more tickets that you sell, all they do is they push the ring back, make the ramp that the fighters walk down, just make it longer. They just make it longer, and you can keep selling.
Yeah, in case you weren't already aware, they didn't push the ring back at all. They reportedly sold 200 tickets. So, I mean, yeah, even though Alan Mcbroom is Austin's manager or whatever, doesn't seem to be the best one. But in Mad Katz's video, it becomes very apparent why Austin gets into so much legal trouble with these dodgy contracts, because when he actually searched up Alan Mcbroom's public record, look how many of them are to do with contractual fraud. I mean, we've got one from 2022, 2022, 21, 21, 21, then it goes down to 2012, 2010, both for contractual fraud. We've got one in 2008 for contractual fraud, and then we got some other stuff, but I mainly wanted to just focus on the contractual fraud stuff, because clearly this is something that they've been doing as a family for a long time. Just lying to people in contracts, not fulfilling what the contract says, just whatever it is, they're not living up to what they have signed on a contract, and they still do it to this day, even though they've been in so much bother for it throughout the years. But yeah, I just thought that was a bit interesting, because it kind of shows why Austin gets into so much trouble legally. But yeah, we're gonna leave the video there. That's been the update. We are going to go back to the one topic per video like structure I've been doing for so long in the next couple of videos. I just thought it was better for this video, so I'm not just rambling on so much into 2 separate videos. So yeah, if you did enjoy, please do a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and if you want to let me know what topics to talk about in future videos, as you can see, I picked these topics because of my Instagram DMs and recommendations. So if you want to let me know recommendations in the future, Instagram, it's @MARKIE, it's always linked in the description, and yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.